Woo-wee, it is hot here in Oklahoma. Hello, this is Rebecca. Long time no see. 37 days. Well, actually, it's 39, but I'm going to pretend it's 37 because the stuff coming up is just too juicy to let it go and combine the days like I have been before. On a quick note, I am feeling better. I'm not completely over the woods, but I'm certainly on the mend, and I've really missed you guys. However, there's two things that happened in the last 2 days that I was really under the weather. Was I still ate good, and I didn't stop whatever it was, because this is my new way of eating, and so I wasn't going to stop and eat whatever because I was sick, like chicken noodle soup or any of the comfort food, and actually I didn't have really a big appetite, but I still needed to eat, and I wanted to make sure I ate good. Yesterday afternoon, I turned a corner, and the segment that we had on day 36 was talking about stop eating so fast and to take a timer and time your food. So, guess what I did? Even while I was sick, I managed to eat 20-minute meals. Yay for me, because that was really hard. But also, I learned something to stop and taste, although my taste buds weren't really kind of on point, but I still tried to, put my fork down and take a sip of my drink and really concentrate on what it was I was eating and making sure that I wasn't eating too fast and just gobbling it, because especially when I'm alone and my husband is gone. I'm watching TV or browsing the computer, so I'm absent-mindedly eating. And absent-mindedly eating, as we talked before, is really bad. So I really wanted to be in the present, no matter how sick I was, that I was going to really apply these tools that we're learning about, slow down. So I actually really physically had to put a timer down and kind of pace myself that 20 minutes, and it really worked. I felt really good, felt satisfied, and this morning I did it with my breakfast. I had 2 eggs, 2 pieces of bacon, and a really small avocado. Try stretching that for 20 minutes. This girl did. Okay, not quite 20 minutes. It was like 17. But it was close enough. And drank my coffee and had my little, water and stuff. So I really did it. The reason why I didn't want to combine this with any other days, because we missed 37 and 38. So now my goal for the 100 days is going to be September 21st rather than September 19th, because these are really important steps that I don't think we should overlook them. This one was titled, I Love Food. And I really got to thinking about it, and it's like, what do I like about food? And I've had such a lifelong battle with food that I don't really like food. Food to me represents the enemy, that it gives me problems, it gives me a low self-worth, and that's the other thing. I was listening to the radio the other day, and it was Wait Wednesday on the SiriusXM channel that I was not going to promote because I don't like the host really, but that's beside the point. But she said something that was really interesting, is that, our worth should not be equivalent to how we feel weight-wise. And that's how I've always felt. And even if I wasn't the fattest girl in the room, I always felt like I was. I always felt like I don't deserve whatever it is I'm getting because I'm fat. And I remember one time, and I feel like I bring it on myself because, anybody that knows me knows that I'm always on a diet. Always. But I'm not on a diet anymore. I used to be that way, but now I'm not. I'm on a new way of eating, and I'm excited about it. But I was sitting in church, getting ready for a service to start, and one of my friends turns to me and says, "Have you ever thought of weight loss surgery?" And I was so mad at her because it's like, no, I will never do weight watch surgery because it is within my power to lose this weight, because I always knew my weight was in my head that manifested out of my body, because I just never felt like I had the self-worth. And people would tell me over and over again, "Oh, you're so sweet, you're so kind," and I always used to have this record playing in my head, "Oh, if they only knew I was really fat and I can't do anything right." That's seriously how I would feel. But I used to be that way, and I'm not that way anymore, because you know what? I am a kind person and I feel a lot of stuff, and I work really hard to get where I'm at. And my weight is no longer going to define me. And I am really excited because I also got to tell you something else that's really cool. Lost 18 pounds. Yep, 18 pounds. So from before in February of 2016, when I started my serious weight loss journey, but it didn't get really serious until this 100 days thing. Excuse me, sorry, still the cold. But I lost a total of 50 pounds. So I'm really excited about that. And I kept it off. Even though this last year was the worst year of my life, I still managed to keep a majority of that weight off, and now I've lost more. So this is really good news, and I'm doing it. And I really love, being on some of the weight loss sites and seeing these other people that are just losing weight like crazy. I also read a study, the other day in my sick bed was, it doesn't really matter what diet, if you're on a high carb diet or a low carb diet or a high fat diet, low carb, whatever you want to call it, Weight Watchers, Atkins, paleo, whatever diet you're on, vegan, I know I'm just rambling, but here we go, you get my drift. It's got to be what works for you and makes it easy for you to be able to incorporate this into your everyday life. And that's what I have found with the program that I have chosen for this series. I've never felt more comfortable with a new way of eating as I have this. It's made it really easy for me to be able to stick with it and have choices and know that I am doing what's best for me, because it's the best I've ever felt. I've said earlier that I'm sleeping better, I have more energy. Okay, so I got sick, but that had nothing to do with it. But, I just feel really good about where I'm at with this, and I feel committed. I think part of this series is, day 2 was, are you committed or interested? And I'm definitely committed, but it helped being committed to a way of eating that is so doable for me. And I hope that whatever one that you've chosen, that it's doable for you too. I read this Heartbroken thing today on one of the sites that this girl was like, I'm just not losing weight. I'm really frustrated. I just want to kick this diet to the curb and everything. And my heart just bled for her, because it's like, sweetheart, you're on the wrong plan if it's this hard. Take it from this old lady. If it ain't working at 20, then it ain't going to be working at 50. So, well, it might work at 50, because I could lose weight a lot easier at 20 than I can now. But the point is that it shouldn't be hard for you. You should be able to do it without even thinking. And I believe that that's why in just the 37 days that I've been doing this, look at all the stuff that is happening in my life. And hey, it's life. This is life. And in the past, if I had to go away for 10 days to take care of a sick family member, my diet would have been out the door. And if I was sick, I would have, my diet would have been out the door, and if I was invited to a party, my diet would have been out the door. So, it hasn't been. I've been managing and I've been doing it. So this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm so excited about it. And to lose 18 pounds in 37 days, that's a very nice progress. It might, for some people, it might think it's a little bit fast, but it's probably going to slow down. There's ebbs and flows, so I'm not worrying about it, because I feel really good. Okay, so I have a cold, but aside from that, I do feel really good with where I'm going. God, my hair looks like crap. I'm so sorry, but maybe I'll look better next week. Since next week is coming, I'm also having to go back to Missouri because my mother-in-law is sicker than before. So I'm going to be taking off tomorrow for Missouri for Lord knows how long. I also have a 3-week vacation coming up at the end of August. So, we've got some challenges, but I'm not looking at them as challenges, because I'm just going to incorporate them into my new way of eating, and I'm going to be just fine. I'll come out on the other side of that vacation weighing less than when I started that vacation. So let's get back to loving food. Getting a little long-winded here. I'm sure you missed me, so you don't mind hearing me talk. But I have had a lifelong battle with food, and so I'm really going to give this segment a lot of thought today and tomorrow and for every time I eat is, what do I like about food? What's my favorite food? Well, we all know that when I started this that I always mentioned donuts. That doesn't mean it necessarily was my diet food. It was actually my drug of choice. And so when I was eating my dinner yesterday, I was really tasting the texture and the flavor, wondering if I seasoned it okay. And I did, because I'm actually a really good cook. But I never really enjoyed food. And so that's my quest now, is I'm going to enjoy food and not treat it as the enemy, but a place to fuel my body and to give me pleasure with flavor, texture, and taste. That was kind of an oxymoron. Okay, so flavor and texture. So, and also, making it pretty with the colors. You don't want to have bland food either, and you don't want to have all soft food. You want a little bit of a crunch. So getting that variety in is really important too, that you're not eating the same thing over and over and over again. So those are things that I'm contemplating, and I hope you do too. Do you love food? If you do, what do you love about it? What's your favorite food? Who do you like to share food with? What do you like to cook? Where do you get most enjoyment? Either eating somebody's food or preparing food for somebody else. Mine is, I like to prepare food for other people. But I think that has to do with, I'm just a servant, and I really like serving people. And that gives me a lot of joy. I like people visiting. I like to prepare meals, and that's what gives me a lot of joy, but I don't necessarily enjoy the food. So I'm going to inspect that for a little while and mull it over and find out why. I do know why, because I already told you. It's because I always thought food was the enemy. So I'm not going to think that anyway. I used to think that, and I don't anymore, because I am committed to my new way of eating, and I'm having a good time. So sorry I look like crap, but I'm glad I'm here to be able to talk one more day to you, and I'll see you tomorrow on day 38. Have a great day, and I'll be in Missouri tomorrow, so I'll see you in the great state of Show Me State. Bye now.